Yeah, baby. It is enlightenment for the soul, the mind, the ear. WSME, SM Enlightenment Radio. What's going on? It is the great Doc P. And as you also know, this time of the year, I'm also Soul Santa Solomon coming at you live and direct right here on a Sunday. All right. It's a Sunday spotlight time. And, as you know, the spotlight is always about giving you something or somebody or something that you need to know about. All right. And, my next guest is no exception to that. All right. This is a brother that's doing a lot of great things. All right. And really growing, uh, as an artist and as a few things going on. And the brother, he has a dynamite song that we've added to SM Enlightenment Radio. All right. And that song is called Get to You. All right. And just a real beautifully put together smooth composition that's something that we definitely like. So listen, I'm without any further ado, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to bring the brother in here. All right. Coming at you live and direct. All right. From Des Moines, Iowa. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Klazik in the house.
How's it going? How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're blessed. We're blessed. And we're honored to have you on the program. All right. Klazik, you have a great record that we're have just added to the format here on SM Enlightenment Radio. That is, a nice romantic, uh, you know, type of thing, and very well put together lyrically, and which is very refreshing and delightful, for somebody like me that, hey, I'm right there with you, just someone that's still trying to create real art. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
That's
100%.
yeah, that's meaningful, that has some substance to it,
Yeah, yeah.
So hey, I just want to get right into it. I know that you do a number of different things. I know that you're into fashion. You're also a motivational speaker, all
Right.
right? And you're also a lyricist. So
Definitely.
hey, so where do we start? What came first, brother?
Well, primarily the lyricism came first, right?
Okay.
But that's what was the gateway for everything that I'm doing now. Get to You was really a turning point in the catalog with me trying to do some things that's a little more entertaining to people. But
Hmm.
the music that I was inspired by was the music with excessively lyrical, a lot of wordplay, and trying to impress people with the vocabulary and punchlines and things like that. So that's where it all started.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. So one thing that I like to ask, um, any artists, and especially artists that do hip hop, because I think that everyone can sort of pinpoint the minute that they discovered hip hop, you know,
Right,
and and everyone's experience is different. You
right.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, what was the experience that you had? Like, what was it? Something that you saw, that you heard, or do you remember, like, at what point that you discovered hip hop and then you decided, okay, this is what I want to do? So, what was that point, and when,
Yeah,
and where was it?
yeah. Well, the yeah, that's an easy answer because I always have it ready to go. The beginning of me as a rapper can be traced to Notorious B.I.G.'s song, the One More Chance remix, the line where he says "Heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever." However,
Ooh,
that line right there was the line got me that got me started and got me to where I am now.
nice, nice. So was that because a cousin of mine had reminded me of that, because I was a little it was funny. I was a little down on myself. I'm like, oh
Right.
man, I'm not one of these pretty boys out here. I'm not this or that. And he's like, and my cousin said to me, shout out to Brian Ace. He said, oh, remember what Biggie says,
Yeah. Yeah.
However, you know what I'm saying? I love that.
Exactly.
And it also makes it like, it's inclusion. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Hmm.
hey, you too could be a player because look how I'm doing it.
Right. And it's not only inclusion for other people hearing that, it's defiance from the person that's saying that, you
Mm.
know. And it was more like I know what I'm dealing with and what obstacles I may have to face, but that's not going to stop me from achieving what I'm going out for.
Nothing could stop you. Nothing could
That's right.
stop you.
That's right.
Wow. So how did your journey into making music start? Like what was the first recordings and how did that start?
Well, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I never went into a professional studio while I lived there,
Mm.
but when I was almost 22 years old, I joined the Navy, active duty Navy,
Nice.
and that took me to Virginia. And I wouldn't be the artist that I am without the practice and the participation in the independent scene out there. That's where I started to record a lot. That's where I made a lot of my early connections and honing my skills and my style. So I'm a dude from Cleveland, Ohio, but I got my sauce and the foundation of my skill was developed in Virginia in the 757 Tidewater region.
Nice, nice. So, all right. So, were you going to? So, you were networking with other artists that were in that area. All right.
Right.
So was there a spot like where you would go to get down, or open mics, or like how was that working out?
Yeah, well, at the time where I got active, that's when the scene was really picking up in Virginia. They would have a lot of open mics, and they had a circuit there, some independent events, and a lot of studios. My preferred place to record there was at Blacklight Studios in Virginia Beach, and I still got a lot of people that I really rock with to this day out there, and just because the only way to get better and the only way to beat the nerves and the fear of getting on stage is to do it. There's no way outside of that. You're not just gonna wake up one day and not be afraid. You gotta put that time in. You gotta hit those stages, practice, see what works, see what doesn't work, and even if because there's a funny period when you're an unknown artist of when you just have to stick to what you like or stick to what you believe in and give the people the time to come around. But either way it goes, nothing's gonna happen if you don't put that time in, put those steps in.
That's so well said. And it's like that with any art. I mean, hey, you just really have to express yourself
Right.
and not really worry about what the next guy is doing. And
That's right.
and in my opinion, because that is your perspective on this thing, you know,
Mhm.
I believe that you'll always have success with it because um, you know, we need more people to bring back the true essence of what this thing is supposed to be, which is,
That's right. That's right.
just real artistic expression. You know what I mean? And
Right.
being yourself.
Because what
Mhm.
we are now, like everybody just wants to do what works. Nobody wants to do the thing. No one's willing to just be themselves because that's how the progress is made. I understand everybody wants to jump in and ride the wave, but some people, the progress will only happen with those people who are willing to be themselves because that's what that's what's interesting and attractive. Yeah, yeah, this is making money. Yeah, you can program this and you can get people because that sounds like the last thing they liked, but it gets us to a place where we are, well, everybody's tired of the destruction. Everybody's tired of it, but the people in charge keep giving us the same things that they knew worked, you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
so but when you have the people, the culture is established and progressed by the people who are willing to stand on who they are and what they believe.
So, what was the type of um opposition that you were faced with? Because I knew there was some, because
Oh yeah.
because I get the same thing. So what was the type of opposition that you got when just from being yourself and not trying
Yeah.
to do what was popular?
Well, the biggest opposition, looking back, when
Mm.
I reflect, the biggest opposition was just me not believing in myself completely. Me
Ooh,
thinking that I had to have the cosign or I had to be down with the pop and crew, because no one is going to, if they don't see it, there's nothing you can do to make them see it.
right,
And the people that are going to see you without any effort on your part. So when you're looking for someone else outside of you to validate you, that's the biggest obstacle. So if I had stood on my own sooner, I'd probably have an army by now, because people are always looking for themselves. But I was so busy trying to fit in. I never smoked or drank in my life, so I don't rap about that.
right.
And when people are looking for themselves, if I had just stood alone sooner, I would be better off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's sort of the thing that just pops into my head is just the line in the good book, where it said, the kingdom is within, all of the
Right.
answers are within. Like you already have what it takes,
That's right.
and we keep searching for, like you said, the outside to validate us,
Right.
and we don't need any validation from anybody,
At
we
all.
just need to validate ourselves and believe.
Right. Because what's meant for you is not going to open up until you be who you were designed to be.
That is
So
that is awesome. That is awesome. So you did. I see that you did some traveling,
yeah.
and got some accolades. South by Southwest,
Yes, sir.
and that's also where is that also where you hooked up with some other collaborators, because I know this particular joint right here features DJ Luke Nasty and Tone the Boss.
Yeah.
All right. So, how did you link up with these other people?
Well, actually, the this record came about. Tone the Bosses. I live in Iowa now. I live in Des Moines, Iowa now,
Okay.
and Tone is here in Iowa.
Nice.
And I participated in a music summit up in the Wisconsin Dells, which is a few hours away. And Luke Nasty was one of the panelists. I performed there and ended up winning. And that's how Luke connected. Me and Luke connected. And the song came about. We booked him to perform in Cedar Rapids. I opened for him. We ended up hitting the studio, and as I say, I put it. We caught lightning in the bottle here. Got a nice mesh of a. It sounds like it got a '90s vibe, but it's
Mhm.
it's modern and it's hitting so many different points, and it just sounds good. I haven't had a negative response yet.
Yeah, and and to keep it real, you're talking about the human experience, and you're expressing that in a genuine way.
Right,
A lot of the current popular music that we're hearing here is a lot of stuff that's manufactured and sort of designed to get a specific type of effect.
right.
Like you said, people follow formulas and whatnot to try to say, okay, well, if this works or if that works, we're gonna
This will
try to
work too.
this will work too.
Yeah, yeah.
To try to throw some other garbage together.
Right, right.
So how did the song come together?
Well, I picked the beat and I knew I liked it, but I didn't know what direction I was going to go. I tried to write to it a couple times
Okay.
and nothing was clicking for me. But then Luke laid down that hook. And I mean, even when you mentioned the formula, there was no formula here. Even where how he stops on the hook, it's odd.
Yeah.
It's and then when I come in on my part and how Tone comes in on this hook, it just works. It doesn't follow the rule book, but it feels right, which is the number one rule in itself. So when it all came together and the magic happens, from the moment we recorded it, I was like, man, this could change everything.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, hey, so is this a part of some other music that you guys are going to be collaborating on? Is this like the first of a movement, or are we working towards an EP, an album? What we got going on?
Well, I don't know. I'm open to it, but I'm not forcing anything.
Mm.
I have a lot of more content that is more in the adult contemporary space. because what I'm doing, the work I'm putting in now, I'm establishing myself as the face of adult contemporary hip hop. I received the first award for that at the Iowa Music Awards just at the end of October, for
Wow.
the very first adult contemporary hip hop award. So I want to serve and represent that underserved market of the people that grew up in hip hop culture, but now we're just now seeing the first artists that have been allowed to age and mature in hip hop. We're finally getting out of the too old to rap stigma. And
Yeah,
I want to represent, I want to stick my flag in the ground on there right now and be the first person to say that I represent that and I speak for those people.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I remember all of the the different eras of hip hop. From the inception, and I remember that period of time. Whereas people would actually try to clown you
Right,
if you were still doing hip hop after a certain age. They
right,
try to convince you that it was a young man's game.
right,
But you know how could it be when hip hop encompasses the same foundation of music that that's in all genres. you
right.
know
And even then, it was only a young man's game because it was such a young genre.
mm,
You know,
that is
and
true.
that's the reason. And
Yeah.
now we're getting to the point where like there are people that were born and grew up with hip hop, so that they need something that speaks to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They shouldn't have to rely on nostalgic 20, 30-year-old albums to be their content. They need fresh new representatives.
And it's awesome because a lot of classic artists are still making music now, and at the same time we're seeing a lot of our pioneers and of the
Coming back
golden
out.
eras, yeah,
Yeah,
not only coming out but also like being rock and roll hall of fame inductees,
that's right. That's right.
and still making music. You
That's
look
right.
at LL and Tribe, and
Yep.
and people like that, and it's like it's timeless music. It will never get old. So it's like the different twists and turns I think that hip hop makes. It can do that, but the classic good music will always be here forever. You
That's
know,
right.
and
That's
and,
right.
and that's
And
where
I
you.
didn't know. I didn't know that that's the realm I was putting myself in when I chose the name Classic for myself. But it fits. There's something
Look at that.
that knew the journey better than I did. I just was smart enough to take that nudge that I was getting to accept that name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, you see, like I said, it's within, brother. So
That's
it's
right.
sometimes, and also as an artist, one artist talking to another, I'm sure that you had it. Whereas there are things that you come up with that you write, or and you'd be like, where did that come from?
Oh, that's just about everything, man. That's just about all of
Yeah, it's like,
it.
where did it come from? It came from the higher power, a higher
Yeah,
self. You know what I mean? Because we're
yeah.
just vessels.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah, I told somebody recently, like, just about every time I sit down to write something, I think I lost it.
Yeah.
Cause and then it starts clicking for me, and then I'm right back in there. But yeah, man, it's like it's all coming from somewhere else.
Wow. So just with the philosophy, and reading that you also do motivational speaking.
That's right.
you know um you have to. I could already see. I mean, hey, I'm motivated, just hearing a piece of your story.
Right,
So
right.
tell me about the motivational speaking, and how it is that you got into that, and when you go out to speak, what are the things that you cover? What do you talk about?
Well, I got into it because I was doing my best to be what I needed when I was coming up.
Mm.
So I mentioned earlier when we were talking, I said I never smoked or drank in my life, but that's because everybody, when I was a kid, crack was a new drug, and it got my entire immediate family, both
Wow.
my siblings, both my parents. So and then that's why the Biggie line hit me so hard. I'm a dark skinned guy. I was very uh, lack of confidence, very low self-esteem.
Mm,
All my clothes was secondhand thrift shop clothes, pro wing Payless shoes, and I didn't have the social interaction because of just my status in the world. So, the best decision I made in my life was joining the military. I did a little over 9 years active duty, and that helped me, get some stability under my feet, and helped me find my place in the world, helped me be able to stand on my own, and further craft out my identity. And when it gets into the motivational speaking, I teach on three different things. I have curriculums that I call Design Your Life, which helps you overcome your past traumas and learn how to let some things go. Because every day when we get up, we get an opportunity and we get a chance to make a decision. Right? We get
mm.
an opportunity because we're given creative energy. So the decision that we have to make is we can either use our creative energy to recreate our past and keep the life that we've lived up until this point, or we can use that energy to create the life that we want. But once you use it, you can't use it both ways,
Wow.
right? Once you use that energy, you can either recreate your past or you can create your future. Once you make that decision, you spent it. But come the next day, you'll have that chance again.
You know, that's that's heavy, and that's something. It's true, and just that perspective. Yeah, people need to hear that, and I'm honored. I'm happy that you said it right here on my show. You know what I mean? So, we're sharing that with our listeners.
Right.
And that really is a fantastic thing. You know.
That's right. Oh, I got stuck on the design your life. So yeah, when it comes to that creating, either recreating the past or creating the future, if you want to create the new life, you got to let the old one go. You got to forgive those old things, forgive those things that you blame for your current position, and accept responsibility for where you want to go and what you want to do. And I also have a curriculum where I teach people how to present themselves from the stage, and stage presence and communication and engaging a crowd from the stage.
Oh, nice, nice. So your motivational speaking, all right, is very helpful not only to just to regular people, but also like to artists.
Right.
I mean,
100%.
that is fantastic, brother. That's a good thing. So where do you usually speak? Do you go to schools or
Wherever they'll have me. I've written everything at a seventh grade level, seventh grade and above. I can
mhm.
tailor it to go a little younger, but I think that middle school age is the sweet spot.
Yes.
And yeah, so middle schools, high schools, college, corporate, I can go to any environment because I've been in just about all of them. From the hood, from the ghetto, ex-military. I've worked in corporate,
Yeah.
federal position. There's no environment I'm not comfortable in.
Because a message like that, I mean, I could see it resonating, yeah, in schools, and not only that, but even in I mean, corporate seminars,
Yeah,
with major corporations, could have you speaking about this type of thing because it's a universal concept.
that's right. Yeah, I mean everybody needs it. I say from a stage, but a stage and a crowd can be as small as you and I. I'm on stage right now, technically.
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
yep.
you are my audience. You are my crowd, and I need to know how to impact and communicate with you in the best way.
Exactly. And you need to know how to read your crowd. And you also need to know, you know, how, how you come across and what
That's
your
right.
strengths are and how you can be effective in
That's right.
communicating your message.
Yes, sir.
That is some awesome stuff. So the other thing that you're doing is some fashion as well. So
Yep.
what's up with that?
I've always been interested in clothes. That goes back to my upbringing, with everything being secondhand, everything being from a thrift store.
Yeah.
I thought, I had this thought very early on: if I could make my own clothes, I'd always be fly. So I've always been interested, and it's just a matter of finding the uh, the manufacturers and figuring out how to do it.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, I don't, even to this day, I don't wear a lot of logos. If it's a logo, it's either somebody I know or my own design. Um, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We got the same thing, same concept, because, with SM Enlightenment Radio, it's all positivity is everything.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? That is the mantra of the radio station, the positioning statement. And that's the reason why, a lot of the music that we rock on here, is designed to, uplift people or to, hey, just give you something that, that will fuel you,
Right.
because there's just so much low energy out there. You know what I
Right.
mean? So much out here that that pulls people down. I mean, hey, we need to uplift people, and I'm really digging where it is that you're coming from, brother.
Oh,
You know,
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
absolutely, absolutely. So the record, once again, it is um "Get to You."
That's
All
right.
right, all right, and hey, just talking about the human experience of just something that everybody could relate to. It's love. You
That's
know,
right.
and it's some beautiful stuff. So, who would you like to shout out on this um interview and thank? You know what I'm saying? I'm thanking you for coming on out, but anybody that you want to acknowledge that helped you to get to where you are.
Everybody, I don't want to start saying names because I might forget somebody that's just as important as those that I've mentioned.
Yes,
But
sir.
everybody that supports and loves me and supports the record and wants to see me go as far as possible, I want to make sure that I deliver and that that you didn't waste your faith and you
Mhm.
didn't waste your belief. I'm here. I'm here to stay. And shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to you. Shout out to your platform. And I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak with you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you coming through. So, I mean, how can people hook up with you and follow you? What are your socials? You know, what's that
On
all
my
about?
socials, everything is classified. That's Klazified because classic is actually two words making one classified sick. So on my socials is classified. So
Nice.
I'm most active on Instagram. You follow me, I'll follow you back, and I'm always giving you a reason to stay tuned in.
Absolutely. Hey, the record is Get to You, all right, by Klazik, all right, also featuring uh Luke Nasty and Tone the Boss.
Yes, sir.
And it's available on all platforms, correct?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
All right, and you can certainly hear it right here on SM Enlightenment Radio, brother. I want to thank you for coming on out. All right, and it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to speaking more with you. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir.
You
Yes,
know?
sir. This won't be the last time. And I appreciate you having me as Enlightenment Media. That's what I'm about. I
Yeah.
used to call my music non-destructive hip hop, but now it's adult contemporary. So we're on the same page.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are. We are. So hey, and that's why we are 100% behind you, brother. All right. So we're gonna be pumping this thing. I'm putting it in there, and it's always gonna be there. All right. So
Thank you.
thank you. All right. And
Thank you.
this has been uh the spotlight right here on SM Enlightenment Radio. And hey, once again, you can hear classics music right here on WSME and also on all platforms. Thanks so much, brother. God bless you. And hey, we're behind you 100%.
Thank you. Thank you. You won't regret it. I'm gonna make sure of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Take care now.
All
This
right.
has been the spotlight. WSME SM Enlightenment Radio, where positivity is everything, baby.